about 65. I think it was 565 against Pakistan. And when you see a team putting their hand up and ensuring they get an opportunity to go and bat well, then it has to be on a consistent basis. Otherwise, you lose the plot. It's you have to start all over again. It has been a serious issue.
Appeals from the two men standing at slip, but not from anyone else. Mentioned a little bit earlier, Stubbs is very comfortable playing the sweep and the reverse sweep. Probably more comfortable playing that than he is any other stroke. So for him, in his mind, it's not a risk. Beautifully bowled.
A hint of turn in the second session. Beautifully bowled. And you've seen him doing this in the last couple of overs also. Maybe this surface just perhaps start to do a little bit for the spinners. Just a quick chat between the batters.
I mentioned that 500 against Pakistan, but if you look back over the course of the last 18 months, there's a number of scores where Bangladesh have been bowled out under 200 in their first innings. Now, if you're getting under 200 in the first innings of a test match, you're under enormous pressure early on.
I think the vacuum created someone like Tamim Iqbal not in the team, Shakib Al Hasan also not there anymore. It does create a huge vacuum. But that's how it goes. They're not going to play forever. So it's the youngster who gets an opportunity, who replaces them, will need to put their hands up and will need to find a way to start scoring runs in the longest format. If you don't, then the team struggles. 122 for 1.
Since lunch, 6 overs have been bowled and only 13 runs have been scored. So this is exactly what Phil Simmons, the head coach of Bangladesh, would have said to his charges at the luncheon break. Look, let's just tighten things up. Maybe if we can just pull that run rate down a little bit, we can create an opportunity. They have created an opportunity. There's been a missed stumping. But now you've almost got to start again. Rana won't have many more up his sleeve, the big, tall, fast bowler, Naid Rana. Just wonder whether it's worth Hassan Mahmood then having a run after him. Got 2 slips in a gully and he's getting the ball through. It's well over 140 every delivery.
And you look at the way how South Africa has handled themselves in the middle. Partnership now 53, both knowing that they are well set now. And you can see that they're trying harder to stay on, just bat through. They don't look in any sort of hurry whatsoever. And they need to cash in, capitalize. Once you do get a start, you've got to cash in. Remember Mahmudul Hasan Joy, 30 and 40 in those 2 innings that he played. But couldn't capitalize. That has been the issue. If you do get a start, you got to look for a big one.
Mention how a good surface this is for batting. You just got to remember, though, that's why a test match is designed to take 5 days. Surface is supposed to deteriorate over the course of the test. We've certainly got the heat here in Chattogram, which would dry it out. And if you go and get 500 in the first innings of a test match, it doesn't necessarily mean you go on and win, because we saw England the other day go and get 800, then bundle Pakistan out and go on and win that test. Pakistan did reverse that quite beautifully in the tests 2 and 3, though, going on to win that series and eradicate England from the potential of making a World Test Championship final. Running in and he's hitting the wicket hard here.
I feel he can just be a touch closer to the off stump, because the last couple of deliveries have been left alone to the keeper. Nothing wrong in doing that for the batter, but if you have that kind of pace, then maybe a better idea is to get it a little bit closer and force the batter to play each and every delivery.
No.
It'd be such a good length to bowl what he's bowling if we were I'm talking about day 4 and day 5, where maybe there's a little bit of up and down movement. Some keep down from that area, some go up. Now the service is still quite true, and it's a comfortable length for Stubbs to be able to just play back to. Might have taken a lot out of him that over. It was quick and he hit the wicket hard. 1-2-2 for 1.
It's been quiet going after the luncheon interval. The partnership has gone up to 53 in 109 deliveries. The Bangladeshi bowlers have done well in containment work, very close to an opportunity of a wicket. And this is the time, Polly, I think the South Africans will feel that they'll do the hard job of containing the, well, not giving the wickets away and getting the runs. It's crucial in this period of play.
It is indeed, and I was watching Tristan Stubbs the way he played the last over. You know, there's quite a few batters that would have gone after some of those deliveries and really looked to be expansive and to score, but get the idea that in his frame of mind now, he's now thinking long term. And there's no doubt, I mean, every single one of us knows that as the test match goes on, as you're out there for more overs, you get a bit tired, you offer up a few more deliveries to be put away. You start to get a little bit disillusioned by the fact that you've only got the one wicket. It does get easier, and that's what they're banking on it unfolding.
Yeah, play on the minds of the bowlers, you're right. I mean, it is quite sultry and muggy, and it'll definitely take a toll on the physical aspect. But in addition to that, the frustration that'll creep through when you're not getting the wickets needed. Definitely going to be a negative aspect. Now, quick throw, not quite, made it.
Zorzi was just a little bit guilty of ball watching there. It was Tristan Stubbs who was charging to the danger end, and if that ball was picked up, I remember at short cover, he would have been the one in trouble. Zorzi just didn't get out of his traps quick enough, but it all works out okay. The other thing that you would add is that the longer you're out there, the more footholds are created, the more wear there's on the surface. So that when Keshav Maharaj, for example, or Kakisa Rabada get that ball in their hand for the first time, they've got more to work with than you had on day one with regards to variable bounce, footholds to aim at, possibility of the ball turning. That is the key. That's sometimes what people don't understand. It's wearing the surface down as much as anything else and making life a little bit more unpredictable for the men who walk to the crease.
Bangladesh batting last in the 4th innings. They'll have their work cut out. So it's going to be the most difficult time to bat.
Come on, boy.
So they want to finish off the first South African innings as quickly as possible. Not making any headways at the moment, just a single wicket for 125. Just a reminder, South Africa winning the toss, and it's turning out to be a good toss to win here in Chattogram, getting to 125.
That's funny how it's worked out for the South Africans. Great toss to have lost in Dhaka. There's no doubt that that assistance that they got on day one, those first 40 overs that it took them to bowl Bangladesh out, it really did fall into their laps. And then second time around, you make the correct decision of winning the toss and batting. That's also another bonus.
Hassan Mahmood into his 8th over, 3.86. The run rate given away, hasn't taken a wicket. Bowls into the 37th over. Will it do a bit in terms of reverse swing?
I was impressed by that spell from Nahid Rana. I think that was really good. So he can go away and just think about things, but that was quality.
Yeah, I think Najmul Shanto is thinking of managing his pace bowlers, giving them a short burst to at least ensure that physically they don't tire out.
I think he's off the field, so maybe he's gone to go and just get a new shirt or something along those lines.
Well, we've had 30, 40 and 59 for Zorzi, and just going back to a couple of years back in South Africa domestic circuit, he did manage 69 of average right through the season. It's extraordinary.
I don't know if you're a numbers person, but if you've got 30, 40 and now you're on 60, that's when I'd be a little bit concerned. Just stay off the zeros.
Yeah, but another 0 and another 1 before that would do nicely.
Thinking of Neil Mackenzie, if he had had a series where he'd gone 30, 40, probably get to 59 and refuse to run unless he was a 2. Take him off the 0. It's pretty superstitious, was Neil Mackenzie. He used to work here for Bangladesh as the batting consultant.
You know, we're talking about superstitions, Polly. Did you have any in your playing days?
Mine wasn't really a superstition. It was kind of just an order that I did things, and it's kind of stuck with the way cricket works. So it was always left glove before right glove, left shoe before right shoe.
Left step forward when you're coming out of the
no,
pavilion.
nothing like that. No, nothing. I did have a few, what do I say, lucky pair of cycling shorts or socks. You know, those ones you always thought you were bowled better in, or Anyway, I don't know if any of that really works, to be brutally honest. Just a good mindset it creates.
A good mindset, that is the key. Include, and you add your skill sets to that, which is so very important, particularly in a test match. Other commentators are talking about the pitch deteriorating over 5 days. How long is it going to hold on? How long is it going to help the cause of the batters? And that is when you want to take advantage, as the South Africans are doing now.
Bangladesh really working hard on this ball. I think they're trying to get the ball to reverse swing.
And if anyone can do that, of the two bowlers on view, the pace bowlers, it's this guy. Your mate Alan Donald, when he was here as the pace bowling coach, reckoned that Hassan Mahmood was one of the array of pace bowlers available now to Bangladesh to actually get the ball to swing with the new ball and reverse it.
I like his action. I like the way he gets through the crease. I think he's pretty easy on the body. I'd be very surprised if he had some sort of injury. And his skill set's good. I like the way the ball comes out. He's got the ability to shape it in and away. Bowl with some really good control. Deserved a wicket earlier today. See, okay, so this one's got the shine on the inside. Let's see if this one tails in towards Tristan Stubbs.
Maybe a hint, but it's got to be more prodigious than that. 126 for 1. We're in the second session of day one, the Dutch-Bangla Bank test match. Second test here, Chattogram. Easily into the deep for an amble single. I think that's the way to go about it when you realize that there was not going to be, you're not going to get freebies, let's put it that way. You've got to milk the runs.
Come on, boys, come on, boys, come on.
I think South Africa, they've got to have an eye on, obviously, victory. I think every team in the first day of a test match, you can't win the game on the first day, but you can help set it up. So the quicker they score, the intent they show without having to play risky shots, but just backing their own ability, I think that'll be key. They will need time to pick up those 20 test wickets to try and win a match.
Getting the singles often enough. On that occasion, it was coverage. Yeah, because they started off with a bang. You certainly feel that they're going very slowly now, but still going at 3.39 and over, which ain't bad. It's just they went at 4.5 in the early stages. They've been pegged back slightly. Oh, goodness. Is there an opportunity?
9.3 overs before this delivery, and just 18 runs were accumulated by the South Africans. This is what does lead to these kind of shots. And they'll be very disappointed, Bangladesh, that this didn't go anywhere near the hand. There was sun to deal with. Really get back as quickly as you would have hoped. Unfortunately, the ball lands safely.
Yeah, lucky for the batter on that occasion. Uses the depth of the crease pretty well for a tall batter. And Shanto desperately knows and hopes that he can break this partnership, which is worth 59. Once again, just going back and helping himself to another single. Another 3 runs from this over. It's 129 for 1. There's a tussle going on in the middle, that's for sure. Both the batting unit and the fielders trying to take the ascendancy here. Bangladesh want to get a wicket because these two are looking quite confident in the middle. Dorsey 62 of 95, Stubbs 28 of 80. He's been very, very patient, going at 35 run rate.
Yeah, I just noticed the one boundary for him, just the 1-4. That reverse sweep that he played really well. I don't mind this. I think if he's prepared to be patient, modern cricketers, you don't find too many of those. I mean, you know what he can do in the T20 format and how destructive he can be. So there's no doubt he can make up any strike rate issue that he has. But the ability and the want to spend a long time at the crease is important.
Indeed, we're talking about temperament. Let's have a look at the chances that Bangladesh got. No, not quite. This is Nahid Rana today. A comparison between his first spell and his second spell.
It was a bit of a scattergun kind of approach to start off. But look how more structured he is second time round. I just think he found his rhythm. And that's why I thought he was a lot better. More control. Halfway down, that seems like maybe too short, but in general, on this surface, it's not really bouncing steeply, so you can be a little bit shorter rather than fuller.
Those landing points, the way they're scattered, gives the opportunity. He's missed the consistency of bowling in a cluster in the good length area. That always keeps the batters interested. He's given the opportunity with short pitch deliveries, wide edge deliveries to score the runs.
I just feel though that he's such a rarity and such a talent find from a Bangladesh perspective that I wouldn't be too upset with that. I think he's going to learn as he goes along, and I think whatever positives you can pick from each of his spells, you've got to keep building on that. And in a year's time or 18 months' time, then maybe you need to be a little bit more stricter on him, saying, come on, you're better than that now. But for now, with his rawness, I'm quite happy that he gets in there and just you got to try and build the confidence. That's basically what I'm going. As a young man like he is, the rest of the team has to do the hard yards of being really consistent and hitting areas, whereas I give him a bit more of a free rein for now.
Well, I hope they are listening to you and give them that opportunity. You're absolutely right. I think Youngster, his raw pace, that's one thing we haven't had in Bangladesh for a while. So exploit that and then just fine-tune as and when required. But exposure, very important. Get him used to the international circuit on a regular basis. He'll learn from his mistakes, learn how to adapt to different wickets around the world. Oh, slap that away. There is protection in the deep, though.
That looked like a change-up. Looked like he rolled his fingers across it. Hassan Mahmood just trying to maybe get the ball, 115 kilometers per hour. There's confirmation for us. Just cut across it, trying to just get Zorzi to drive and maybe pop it up in the air on the offside. So that's good thinking.
All he needed to do is basically, there you see him, just it's a fast off-break kind of delivery, but it's too wide and too comfortable. Shows he can afford to wait on that one and really pick his spot. Try to get it a little more in line. Put the seed of doubt on the batter's mind with the length. The ball came back into him. Hassan Mahmood bowls within himself. He's not the paciest. He's more accurate of the two on view.
Yeah, he is. I mean, on this over, he's gone 135, 137, 133, and then mixed it up. But I think there's enough there. And on a day like this, you do have to just look after the body a touch because it's going to be hard work. You might be out in the field for a period of time. I just feel that we see him running up there with the ball with the shiny side and the inside, trying to reverse it. When he does go for that, he just needs to be fuller. He needs to almost target the top of the stump so that if it does get a bit more, it gives it more time to shape in the air first of all. And then obviously if he does get it through the defenses, it's hitting the stumps.
Oh, that's reared up. Controlled that nicely for Mushfiq Kareem to come around and field it. Ends the 39th over, 1-3-1 for 1. And just a little rehydration and change of gear going on. Pause in play, but they're just, it is hot and sultry. Drains you, there's a lot of sweating, you need some refreshments. It's good to see the crowd coming in and enjoying the cricket in the middle. Chattogram track living up to its reputation, not really being very helpful to the bowlers, and if the batters can put their minds to it, be a little selective with their shot making, they're going to find things easier as they progresses.
Often when you leave a little bit of grass on these kind of surfaces, it tends to offer a bit more of a better contest. Has it been the case here? Have you seen any surfaces that have been really good, like an equal battle between bat and ball?
Well, they're making an effort in the recent past. I mean, you saw the Dhaka wicket. Comparison today, there was a bit of grass, but it was more strewn and rolled across. It wasn't live grass per se. We don't often see that. It has happened on a couple of occasions, and they've tried to put a green top to help the cause of the pace bowlers in particular. But obviously, this is quite abrasive, and it's going to be conducive for reverse if they work on one side of the ball. And the outfield is pretty lush, so that might not really help out. Talking about the Test Championship, how crucial it can be, particularly for South Africa. That's what they have, Polly.
They would be fancying themselves, you know, in South African conditions. You think you could get the better of Sri Lanka and Pakistan. They'll have to play well, of that there's no doubt. But 4 more Test matches, if they can manage to find some sort of result here, really are set up nicely. That edge will allow the Zorzies to get back for 2. Not a fan of the 2-match Test series, to be brutally honest. I much prefer 3.
Yeah, it gives an opportunity. I mean, it's the way that too much wide ball cricket. You're trying to fit in the wide ball cricket in the calendar, and in the process, you're losing out on the Test matches. I think they should go back to the old days. If not 5 Test series, at least 3 Test series. Completely in agreement with you. Yeah, you've got them at home, which is an advantage.
You got it!
Because as things stand in this Test match, I mean, once the first Test match is won, Bangladesh have got no chance of winning the series. They can maybe draw it or fight for that. But this one, we're going to probably see more of this as the Test match goes on. It looks like it's quite steep. Makes contact high up on the splash and in the air for a while.
Yeah, Bangladesh will definitely look to win this one and level the series, get the 12 points. It might not really work out for them in terms of the Test Championships, but will be a great fillip if they can finish 5th, 6th in the table when the final is played at Lord's. That'll be a wonderful feeling in the sense that will bolster their confidence as that ball is played away. Couldn't find the gap in the covers. Another runs. Runs coming slowly. Haven't had a boundary for a while, not quite sure how many deliveries. 88 deliveries since the last boundary. Incredible.
Come on, boys. Number 2 here,
Tells
boys.
you they've got a grip on things, the Bangladeshi bowlers. Building up the partnership, looking for a wicket. 135 for 1. After the loss of the skipper's wicket at 69, they've almost doubled it, 66. And going for these two, Stubbs with 30 and Zorzi 66. Almost equal shares, 30 and 34. The contributions in the partnership. Could have Hassan Mahmood into his 10th over now. 3.33. Very impressive bowling so far. Just like to have icing on the cake by taking a wicket here. Going in slow motion, everyone taking their time. What was that? That was real good bottom hand. Whacked it. Nice timing. There was a fielder in the deep. Look at that. Not too much of a follow through. Just a punch. With left hand coming into play. Or with the punch and the angle of the bat. .90 balls now since the boundary. Must be thinking about it. Must be crossing their minds.
Like Shabim, that's 91. I'm saying there's no ways you can put 100 balls together without a boundary. In the next 9, we're going to have a boundary. Willing to put a wager?
Well, the money's safely in my pocket, I can tell you that. With the two of us having wagers, I almost won one when you mentioned what the score was
Almost.
like. Almost 1 run short, Polly, just 1 run short. You were 10 runs over. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible when you go through 100 deliveries without a boundary. They haven't yet reached that. Polly says it's going to happen before the 100th. Ah, is that it? That's a back foot punch. Well predicted, Sean Pollock.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure for all those around the world watching this broadcast that you haven't seen a boundary for a while. So I just thought I'd cue one up for you. That was a wonderful shot by Tristan Stubbs. Rode it, got onto the tips of his toes, and just punched it beautifully off the back foot.
Well, that'll definitely put him in a good mindset, the batter.
How many tucker did we have on that one?
Millions, Polly. Millions. Oh, now swivels round, trying the shorter delivery. Now that boundary makes the difference. It immediately makes the bowler try something different. Instead of trying to get the reverse and pitch the balls up, he's trying to bowl the ball short. With this wicket, the track they're playing on is not going to get too much bounce out of the track to really make it uncomfortable for the batters.
But it's not a bad policy, just to every once in a while push that batter back and then make him think about another delivery along those lines, and that's when the reverse swing can be most effective because they don't get a positive stride, and if you find the right length you can trap them in front. So the thinking's still there.
Oh, edged and gone through the gap. Oh, well, not through the gap, it's through the hands actually. And incredible. I thought that was initially that had been taken, but it just burst through.
Dropped short. I think the slip cord in general the whole day has just been too deep. This was a healthy edge. Nice change of angle. I think it bounces comfortably short. That's why I just think in this stage you want everything to possibly carry. Bounces short of him.
Yeah, just a little short. Initially I thought it was taken, but there you go. And he thought so too. Just tucked it away. That is over. And it's 143 for 1. It's time for the players to take some drinks, the Pushti drinks break.
Hello and welcome back to the Zohar Ahmed Chaudhary Stadium in Chattogram, where South Africa, winning the toss, elected to bat first and got a good start courtesy of their openers, and then Bangladesh saw the back of Aiden Markram on 33. Tony Dezorzi though did carry on. He's unbeaten on 69 and partnered up with Tristan Stubbs, who is not out on 35. Total is 143 for 1. Taijul Islam, the only one with a wicket. Got the wicket of Aiden Markram. Hassan Mahmood was on the verge of getting one, but did not, was unlucky. So was Taijul. There were a few opportunities, but Nahid has been bending his back. Consistent pace from his end. But the players enjoy some drinks. The opportunity to introduce Ed Rainsford. Welcome back to the Port City.
Shamanoy, how are you? Yeah, players will enjoy some refreshment and also some time to recover. It is very hot out there. And look at the personal touch there with some chairs and some ice. Have a look at Tony Dezorzi and his 69. 4 fours and a 6. Using the depth of the crease, he's used the sweep. It's been good off the front foot. Also a little bit of a deft touch there as he goes to 50. Now we'll look at some of the opportunities. Tristan Stubbs, oh, the fielder gets into a little bit of a muddle. That one you'd say maybe dropped a little short. Half chance you would say, but chances nonetheless on this kind of surface you have to take.
Nevertheless, Dezorzi has led the partnership. He's shown some patience
I think Bangladesh should be quite happy with that hour. I think they've really slowed things down nicely. They've made it difficult for scoring. I think that they found a good line and length, and South Africa have had to work for their runs. I think for a moment there, in 11 overs, there were 22 runs. So they were able to manage the game manager point of view. They weren't picking up wickets, and then there were a few chances. They'll be quite pleased with that hour, but now they've got to continue it, and that's the problem on this kind of surface that is quite docile. You have to really work hard, and the ability of trying to build up an innings or build up the pressure to pick up a wicket.
From the rocket end, inside part of the bat, Stubbs will get a single. You mentioned the past hour has been good in terms of efforts from Bangladesh. The commitments were there. However, did not end in, taking wickets.
Yeah, that happens. I think if that was the flow of the game, everyone would pick up wickets. There is a battle out there between bat and ball, so the batters in themselves had to sort of restrain themselves with the adjustment that Bangladesh made.
Catch it!
Going for the reverse early on, was not too far away from Mahidul Onkon, running away towards the boundary. Shadman slides and probably does recover.
I'll check if was bat involved. Yeah, I think there is. But also, every time you get close to the boundary, players just want to make sure. Oh, that could be 4 runs. And this is a good piece of umpiring just to make sure that the batter gets the full value of his runs there because of how close the fielder is there. And rightfully, that foot on the wedge and the hand on the ball.
A bit fortunate, not for him. Tajul Islam had a few chances off his bowling. And now the boundary.
Catch! Joy!
Yeah, what I really like about that piece of TV umpiring by Nitin Menon is that he's got it to move very quickly. There's no umming and ahhing and rocking and rolling. His decision was very crisp in that, you know what? Yes, that's 1 foot on the boundary rope, one hand on the ball, 4 runs.
Kept a tad bit low again. Off the back foot, but now they're getting the singles again. Look a bit more proactive. South African batters.
Come on, boy! Come on,
A lot of
lads,
time
come
can
on,
be
lads.
consumed by
Come on, boys,
trying
come
to
on.
have a look at a number of replays. Stuns the game. Everybody's waiting around. I
Ayo!
really like that, and the umpiring obviously now is evolving a lot, especially with the advent of technology and the amount of cameras available and
lads, come on,
angles
lads.
available to make decisions as quickly as possible, quick turnaround times.
Spot on it. Above all, making it the end of the over. 150 for 1.
Come on, guys. Keep going, guys.
The 150 is up for South Africa. Batted for 42 overs, and yet the third 50 goes on to reflect exactly what you were saying. Past hour has been good in terms of bowling for Bangladesh. Spin to be operated from both ends. Hedi Hasan Miraj coming from the Dutch Bangla Bank end. Going back to the technology available and the TV umpire doing a brilliant job. Just keeping it smooth, make sure there's no interruptions for the viewers at home. Deep mid-wicket, long on for Mirage, for the right-hander to play with the turn. Kept low.
Sort of a run, but decided against it. And it's happened in baseball that they had to re-look how the flow of the game was going, and they were losing a generation of sporting fans. I've given this example a number of times about how they've had to evolve the production and trying to get the game to go a lot quicker and move a lot quicker to get the young involved again, and also not lose the die-hard baseball fans. And I think cricket is slowly also catching up to that in terms of how they can always keep the game moving rather than having those lulls or stoppages in play. Change of angle here for Mahedi.
Reversed. Just use that angle to which Mirage bowled that delivery.
Played it nicely, and the reason is that is because he really pushes it across. So as soon as it goes past or around that off-stump region, he knows that he can play that reverse sweep. He'll think there for a moment if that bounces, brings in the catches around.
Shuffles back to the back foot.
Very good boy, very good boy.
So realistic, and especially in this day and age where they say that the attention span is not so much. You don't want to lose out. You want to make sure that the fans are glued in.
Especially with Test cricket, I think the advent of T20 cricket and white ball formats that are number now around the world,
Come on, lads,
franchise
come on,
cricket
boy.
as well. You have to try and create that interest.
Bit of turn.
Like you rightfully say, nowadays with also social media,
Very good boys, come on lads.
the availability of information is very in real time. Everything is consumed so quickly. I mean, I love Test cricket, really do. Really brings out all the nuances of the game.
Two of the over. 152 for 1.
Come on lads. Come on boys. Keep going. Going strong boys.
152 for 1, South Africa. Still plenty of batting to follow. That one wicket only doesn't fully portray how
Catch it.
day of cricket has progressed so far.
Talk about technology as well. You talk about how England are using a lot of artificial intelligence
Come on lads,
in
come on DJ.
replicating squads, playing 11s, especially with the women's game.
Catch it boy.
Because artificial intelligence, if you select a certain 11 versus another 11, you can create different outcomes. I think at one stage when I was reading the article, it's over 120,000 outcomes on what can happen in a certain instance in a game. They're not totally reliant on it, but it's something that they're bringing into the game that they believe can help them in deciding what is in a suitable 15 or 11 or a situational 11 in the conditions that perhaps you need to pick out a certain team. And also in county cricket now, they've got the advent of iHawk, where every umpire is wearing a camera on the body. That's nicely bowled.
Beautiful boys.
Look at this delivery. Turn. Ooh, don't miss that.
Bit more flight. Appeal. Taijul is excited. They will talk about it, but the wicketkeeper thinks perhaps it is turning a bit too much and going down the leg.
This is a close shout by Bangladesh. Shanto doesn't look interested. And you're right, there's a number of things that possibly play on his mind. Where it hits him, has it him outside the line? Is it sliding down the leg side? Yeah, maybe. Keeper's right there, probably missing leg stump.
Buried it up. Taijul Islam made an over from him. 152 for 1. This is what happened in the previous over, the appeal. Taijul, turn. Yeah, miles away from that leg stump. So good call from the man behind the stumps.
Very good decision not to go up. But looking at that ball tracking, there's a lot of positivity there for the spinners. Turn and sharp turn. But to be missing leg stump by that much.
Reverses again.
So to just finish my point, in that county cricket, umpires wear an on-body camera called iHawk, and it records every delivery, every dismissal, every run scored. It's put into a database where they then decide or look at it and then come up with the most effective bowler in different scenarios or situations within county cricket. They've also substituted the ball on a number of occasions with the kookaburra and the duke. Technology playing a huge part in cricket in England and how they're using it. I think a lot of teams around the world will also start using it more and more.
Come on, lads. Come on, lads.
How it'll play out is a big question mark. I'm still also trying to understand it. I know a lot of franchise teams use AI to also try and come up with what is a mock draft and who you should go in first and who you should pick first.
Charges down the wicket. That is a spectacular shot from Stubbs.
Yeah, a really good shot. Here's the variance that he brings. He's a positive player, can get the game moving very quickly. Plays the reverse sweep, but then he has this ability to get nice and close to the ball and use his power and reach. That's an emphatic boundary.
Applauded by Pavuma. Well, I hope the AI takes these into consideration.
Come on, lads. Come on, lads.
So,
Come on, boy.
under such circumstances,
Come here, boy. Come here, boy.
Mr. Stubbs would be a handy customer.
Ah!
Remember also, as a disclaimer, it's all the input that's put into these search engines to create a massive database so you can get the information and the trends.
Number 2 here, boys.
Not necessarily just picking out anything from the sky. It tries to go with relevant information that's been occupied for a long period of time.
Ayo.
Just to go back to that, that's mostly quantitative.
Come on, lads. Come
Perhaps
on, boys.
would
Come
not
on,
account
boy.
for the qualitative side of things. So skippers such as MSDs, if you have a gut feeling you want to back this player, you end up not doing that.
Yeah, so that, no, well, not necessarily don't do that. It's an incorporation, it's a balance of both using that information and also using the human effect.
Ayo.
Run a ball over. 158 for 1. It's one short of 50 runs in this session. Post lunch,
Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Skill up,
17
come on.
overs bowled. Interesting battle brewing in the middle between the spinners and the two batters. And Dizorzi and Stubbs. Well, Dizorzi's faced 120 deliveries. Stubbs
Boy.
played 98 already. Still some kind of that kind of pitch that it's not making getting runs that easy. Using his feet. The shade of his partner.
Yeah, it's really about working through the difficult situations or the pressure situations when a team bowls well, and a team should be allowed to bowl well. It's then how you go through that period and then work into the innings again. So there will be times where a lot of deliveries are just going to be absorbed. But if you give yourself that opportunity, you can get a lot of runs on this surface. But the key element is the patience. And knowing that, you know what, scoring is going to dip.
Come on, boy.
I will not get frustrated. I'll work through this period. I'll rotate strike.
Yes. Very good, Mushi.
Some listening back at home and here in Bangladesh or around the world would be, well, this is old-fashioned Test cricket. This is where,
Chalo, boys, chalo.
you know what, the ball's not just
Keep going,
flying
come on, boys.
everywhere. You're going to have to work through periods, and also from a bowling aspect as well.
Ayo. Beautiful, beautiful, boy.
So don't go anywhere.
Nigel giving it his all.
Come on, lads. Come on,
One more
lads.
delivery to
Come on,
go
boys.
off his 19th over. A flight. Quick single they're looking for, and they do get it. Two singles of this one. 160 for one.
Arrows going down.
Dizorzi and Stubbs continue. So does Miraj.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Phil Simmons,
Faisal bhai. Faisal bhai.
new coach, has come here for a short tenure.
Bhai. Faisal
No one
bhai.
yet knows if he's going to continue, but till now he has a stint Champions Trophy. Sweet yet again. Now you're someone who's played under Phil Simmons when he took over Zimbabwe.
Come on,
And,
boys. Come
it's
on, boys.
such a short tenure. What are the things that, how do you think he would go
keep
about his
going,
business
keep going,
here?
guys. Keep going.
Yeah, he actually coached our under-19 World Cups team that came to Bangladesh in 2004 and then took over as the head coach in Zimbabwe at the time. But yeah, for a short period, yes,
Keep going, guys. Keep going.
there's only so much he can
Come on, boys.
do,
Come on,
really.
boy.
But I think the first thing is to try and build a really strong team, try and keep the morale as high as possible, and then work with the plan, because after this, I think they have 3 T20s or a white ball series against Afghanistan in Dubai. And I think there's the test series to the West Indies, and so that'll give him time to work with the players. But I think his real quality is to bring the team together. Vastly knowledgeable man, well experienced as a head coach and a coach, deep thinker of the game as well.
Ow!
That one just creeping in, looking for that gap between the bat and the pad. Well defended in the end by Dizorzi.
Now stays down a fraction,
Big shot here, boys.
just
Come
a
on,
fraction. There's that lack of
Comfortable
bounce
there,
that
boys.
this
Come
pitch
on,
can
lads.
produce.
Number 2 here, guys. Come on, boys.
Comes down the wicket. Takes it on a half volley. Few bounces to the ropes. For 4.
This one's just tossed up, so he gets on the move, does Dazorzi.
Nice, guys. Keep going.
Just there, he sees it flighted, and then he gets nice and close. It doesn't quite get all of it. The bat face closes, but the commitment through the shot in that hitting area allows the power and the elevation.
Oh, that is a beauty. From Miraz, just enough turn to get it past the edge of Dazorzi's bat.
Good pace.
There's a good comeback delivery, just a little bit wider. Look at that for turn and bounce.
Oh!
Dot ball to end the over. 165 for 1.
Enjoy, God.
Stubbs not out on 45 of 103. Now this partnership has progressed quite well. 96 of 181.
I just finished that point on Phil Simmons. I think he's also really good for senior players and your young players, just to bridge that gap,
Come on, let's go,
to
boys.
allow them to gel well together.
Oh, just whiskers away from that off stump. Hence those hands over his head.
This is close. And the turn just saves him, possibly by half an inch. Nigel's thinking, how is that missed? Just feel also, just in the short period here, South Africa seem to be playing a little bit more shots. That one, lucky to get away with that one, Tristan Stubbs.
Out of turn. Buried the pace also.
Yeah, so he can create a nice ability for the senior players to buy into a plan, and I know it's a short period that he has to work with. As we have a look at this delivery again by Tygel and how it misses that off stump. It's the turn that actually gets it to miss off stump. Just a fraction.
Catch it, boy.
Along with the turn. But yeah, that is something that will be highly valued by Bangladesh. Keeping that mix together, the dressing room environment right.
Catch it, boy.
And it's quite an interesting one, because I understand he's interim until, I think, the Champions Trophy. So perhaps this could be a period for Bangladesh cricket to actually see his philosophy and give him a good understanding of what he needs to do, and also some real-time feedback for him. And it's key, because if they do want to give him a long-term version, they have something to fall back on what he's done.
Brilliant ball.
It just makes me wonder if it's too short a tenure, but here's Dazorzi, how's he dealt with spin in particular today. One of the over. 166 for 1.
on, guys. Come on, guys. Hey, Hassan. Hassan.
They've kept a healthy run rate, South Africa, throughout the day. Just under 3.5 to the over. Things crawled along after lunch, but runs have been a little bit easier for them of late.
Come on, boys. Allah!
Wow. How about that? It's not going to go for 4, but where he hits this from, it really does illustrate the confidence that Tristan Stubbs has in playing the shot.
Ooh. You can understand that if a batter has batted for a long time, he'll play and a few shots, take few chances. But with those runs, 100 partnership on the board for them.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Certainly a little bit of a risk involved in that shot that he attempted to play.
I think I was saying earlier, risky for you and me, but I'm not so sure for him. And not so either for Tony de Zorzi. That's beautifully played.
Yeah, remember in the first test match, it was the sweep shot, the conventional sweep shot, which really took on the spinners. And again, very nicely played from de Zorzi.
I think for me that's been impressive about de Zorzi's innings is that the way he's gone about the accumulation of his runs. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's sort of one of those where I can't remember a shot he's played, in that he's just gone about his business unfussed. It's been a proper opener's innings. Right, Stubbs on 49. That'll be 50 for Tristan Stubbs, his second in Test match cricket. Finding a home for himself at number 3 in this South African Test unit.
A nice round of applause from his teammates. Well organized 50. It has taken a little bit time. Well, that's absolutely fine. First day of this second test match.
Come on, lads. Come on, boys.
Making sure this partnership gets bigger and it gets closer to that magical 3-figure mark. Not just only for him, also for Zorzi.
Very good, boys.
When you see this kind of a surface which looks really good for batting, you would expect the batters to go and play a few more shots. But that is absolutely fine. The kind of innings that was required to ensure that they used to add a big one here.
Ah, yo.
Into the over, 175 for 1.
Let's go, boys. Tardari chalo, bhai. Come on.
Tony de Zorzi already has a career best in Test match cricket on 86, but that's not the number he wants to settle on. He'll be looking for a maiden Test 100. Still some way to go.
Come on, boys.
Well, I think South Africa will be very satisfied with their morning and their early afternoon's work here after winning the toss and batting first. They wouldn't have wanted to make the same mistake that Bangladesh made in that first Test match by getting bundled out for a low score and allowing the opposition in. We've spoken about run rates and how good the pitch is, but South Africa will want to grind and grind away. They'll want to bat deep into day number 2.
Come on, lads, come on, lads.
And thus putting pressure on, scoreboard pressure on the hosts.
Yeah, if they can manage to do what you just said, then they'll put up a substantial total. Make no mistake, a big total. But they're going at like 3.5 runs and an over.
For a moment, Tajul Islam thought that had been edged and taken. But the man that counts is the keeper. He felt as though there was no edge. Now Shanto is interested. Yes, no, wait, maybe, yes. We're upstairs.
Third umpire to director. We have a player review for caught behind. Original decision is not out. I have checked the feet. It's a fair delivery. Can we start with front on spin vision, please? Okay, ball very close to the bat. Can we have Ultraj, please? Okay, keep it going, please. Gap between bat and ball. Okay, keep it going. Yeah, gap between bat and ball. No bat involved. Thank you. I'll go back to Langton on field. Langton, you can stay with your decision.
Absolutely nothing. I'm not so sure about this reaction from Tajul Islam. He's desperate to go upstairs. Now, is he saying, surely you can hear that? And the keeper, debutant, is saying, well, I heard nothing. Well, he was right. There was nothing.
I think it was the reaction from the bowler himself, Tajul Islam. Kept on persisting that, yes, I think there's a bit of a, he heard something of the keeper. There was nothing from him. So another review lost.
Saw him coming, 176 for 1. In a very good partnership. South Africa lost their first wicket when they had 69, that of their captain Aiden Markram, but these two have played beautifully. Stubbs has been subdued, but he has another test match 50. He's an inventive player, a T20 specialist no more, Tristan Stubbs. All forms of the game. But he possesses power that is entertaining. Certainly take the game away from opposition when he wants to.
And both the batters in the middle have a 100 in first-class cricket. Stubbs, 2 unbeaten in just 21 matches.
See, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what colour the cricket ball is Tristan Stubbs, if he identifies it, he is happy to go on over boundary fielders. And he does this easily.
Yeah, if he gets going now, then trouble. More trouble for Bangladesh. Lovely use of the feet. Didn't bother to run because it sails over the boundary ropes for the maximum. beautifully played.
There's a long on in place, but still so confident to dance down the wicket and take him on.
Ayo. Good ball, boy. Come on, lads, come on, boy.
All round the ground. You want to be 20 minutes away from tea.
Samne.
South Africa get to tea, one down.
Samne do.
With around about 200, they would be in a very, very strong position here. Let's bear in mind, the draw is not what South Africa are after. They need the win in order to continue that push for a World Test Championship final place.
Ayo.
Bangladesh, they don't want to lose a home series.
Well, they're going in the right direction, South Africa at the moment, 183 for 1. Two well-set
boys,
batters in
come
the
on,
middle,
boys.
partnership of 114. He also has a triple 100 in his first-class career.
Ah.
183 for 1.
I was thinking about that height, not that pitch up or something. I just saw his height.
Those top 5 sides all have an opportunity to make that World Test Championship final, and most of them are playing against each other. India have 1 test match to go against New Zealand, then they play 5 against Australia. Australia have 5 against India, and then they have 2 against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, 2 against Australia, 2 against South Africa. New Zealand, 1 against India, and then 3 against England. South Africa, they've got 2 against Sri Lanka, the 1 here, and then 2 against Pakistan. So all 5 of those teams with a real opportunity to make that World Test Championship final. You can't help thinking that one of India and Australia are going to miss out because they've got 5 test matches against each other later on in the year. Cracking series. Cracking series, but someone could knock the other out.
Come on, DJ.
Yeah, it took a really big turn in the last couple of test series. New Zealand going on to win against India. Pakistan losing the first test match and then coming back and winning the series 2-1. It really opens up the table, doesn't it?
Well, Pakistan winning those last test matches that ensured that England have no chance. Pakistan, they can't get there either. But fantastic that we are so late in that World Test Championship cycle. Goes all the way. Just a little use of the feet now as he closes in on that magical number.
Yeah, it was in the previous over that we saw Stubbs going down the wicket and hitting down the ground. This time it's Zorzi. Yep. Picks it up nicely and whacks it away on the onside for another maximum. Into the 90s now. Lovely use of the feet. And then it did pick the turn, playing with the turn right from the sweet part of the bat.
Very good, guys.
Dropped on 6. Tony de Zorzi. Since then, pretty faultless.
Costly miss. Very costly.
Yes, boy.
Nicely bowled. It's been excellent, Tajul Islam. He was excellent in Mirpur. He's been good again here today.
Ow.
He's a lovely performer for Bangladesh. 191 for 1, South Africa. I said that Tajul Islam has been impressive, and one might look at his figures and go 1 for 70 of 22 and think, well, hang on, why do you feel that? But he's been unfortunate. There's been a misstumping. He coaxed Tristan Stubbs out of his crease, and there was an opportunity that went to begging, but not easy for a spinner to bowl on day one of a test match where there isn't a lot of help or assistance for you. So don't worry about the numbers. He has been good. Whereas on the other hand, nearly going at 5s, struggled with the ball in Mirpur. South Africa haven't let him settle here either.
That has been the problem for Bangladesh. Looking at the bowling department, I know it's a slow track, but if you have a slow track, you would want your spinners to bowl well. As you rightly pointed out, he missed out in the first test when there was so much for the spinners on day one and onwards. For some reason he hasn't been at his best. Yes, don't forget that he nearly picked up another test match 100 in the second innings, 97. Marius and Miraj needs to bowl well here. I mean, if you don't pick up wickets, you got to make sure that you dry up the runs. He's leaked too many.
That's a half century next to his name already, Tristan Stubbs, against the West Indies. Got 68. This is what he tends to do to opposition captain. He has the ability to take bowlers down. Those inside edge, and therefore captains end up spreading the field, which allows him to get off strike so easily.
Maybe just going down the leg side also. You happy with the field set now? Second session, 192 for 1, spread out field.
Straight as well. Look, I think they're going for a little bit of an in-out field, so he's trying to hold a few attackers in here. Leg slip and a conventional slip, drifting down the leg side. So I think what he is doing with these boundary riders is he's saying to Stubbs, I know you want to take him on, so if you're going to take him on, make sure you hit it over the fielders on the boundary. He's looking for a South African mistake here. Not trying to bowl someone out, because they obviously find it very difficult on this pitch. So they're looking for an error.
If you have the field spread out, what happens is that even if good deliveries can go for singles, because it's spread out, you see that fielder at mid-off is quite deep, so you get anything towards mid-off for the right-hander is a single. For De Souza, the field comes in because they know that it's only 6 runs away from that magical 3-figure mark.
Come on, boys, come on, boy! Keep going.
I do feel they're ticking the scoreboard over too easily.
Ayo!
There you go again with that single to finish the over. 195 for one.
South Africa in their history have got 4 centuries in Chittagong. The lowest of those, an unbeaten 177 by Buttadipana. The other 3, double hundreds. Smith, Mackenzie and Rudolph, all with double hundreds here in Chittagong.
Yeah, Smith's got 2. One at Chittagong and the other at East London. Right, Momin ul Haq, part-timer.
Yeah, the numbers tell you that they're looking for a strangle here. Charles' little left arm spin, quite round on. It's the one attacking fielder in the slip. Well, there you go. Just like that. What have you been doing, Tajul?
Interesting turn straight away for Momin ul Haq.
Zorzi, 95. With a left arm spinner bowling, he has taken on Tajul from this end of the ground already and got the maximum. Is he prepared to do that again when just 5 short of 100? Nominal's going to go over the wicket to the left-hander. Zorzi eyes out that leg side.
They still have 7 minutes to go for tea, and you would expect him to score those 5 runs before tea is called. Not too sure whether he's going to chance his arms and try to figure out to play a big aggressive shot to get to his 100. He's already picked a 6 in that previous over from Taijul Islam.
You're more overs before tea. Surely Zorzi wants it before the tea break. I know many will feel, what's the difference? But players don't like to sit with their pads on during a tea break or a lunch break on 98 or 99. Something happening here.
Very good,
The batter, you tend to just relax a little bit when they bring on the part-timer, and inevitably it gets a wicket.
Strong, boys. Easy.
Stubbs will nick the strike. We've got 6 minutes till the tea break. 198 for 1.
আমি
198 for 1 South Africa. This partnership is worth 129. Just Aiden Markram back in the hut. played okay for his 33 marker. He'll be very disappointed. I think everyone knew that this is a surface that you get an opportunity to have a hit on it, you want to cash in.